Vietnamese American Arizona Television.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to VAATV.com. We welcome back to the business world, not real estate business world. So we have a lot of things covered for today, end of the year. And we have Mr. Scott Bartlowe from SF Fuller here with us. Welcome,
Hi,
Scott.
how are you today?
Very good. How about you?
Oh, I've been fighting a cold.
So do I.
So,
So we are end of the year, just like yesterday. We have a talk show here, and then I was coughing like crazy. And also, I mentioned to everyone that we have to keep ourselves warm, no matter what, and get the repair, and don't wait until we get a cold and then worry. Right? We have to worry way
Exactly.
before that. And I think like some of the market or grocery, they offer free flu shot as well,
I
like
think they do.
Safeway and all that. That's I saw this morning. So whoever will like somebody cannot take the flu shot, but like if you need to, then you have to do before, right?
Exactly
for
right.
that.
Yep.
Right. So what are we covered for today? I think like end of the year, you say kind of like everything slow down a little bit, but this is the time for everybody to kind of pay attention to whatever that we really need. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Basically, I've got a couple of different subjects that we're going to look at covering this evening,
Uh-huh.
and one was water, because
water.
Arizona, as you know, is a desert state, and we have to protect what water we have. It's a finite resource.
Mm.
And of course, another area that we want to talk about real briefly is Section 8 housing.
Yes.
How that works.
Mm-hmm.
And then lastly, in keeping with the holiday season, is maybe give folks a few ideas of some of the displays and some of the places where they can go to see the holiday lights.
Yeah, right. Cover everything then.
A little bit of everything.
So, of course, like you said, Arizona is a desert, and water is very valuable for us all here.
Exactly.
So, but how are we going to reserve? But first, we have to know where's the water coming from, right?
Well, that's exactly right. And we've got a slide. It's number 1.
Yes.
And jogging and running around some of the smaller ones.
Yes.
And they use them as paths and stuff. That's great. But the Central Arizona Project Canal is faster moving water, and it is dangerous.
Ah.
And in most cases, they do not want people near those
They have
canals.
a sign, right? They
Yes.
post a sign.
Yep, and they will arrest you for trespassing. If you
So-
fall in, it's likely that you will drown, even if you're a good swimmer, because there
Wow.
are not.
Because it's run really fast.
It's running
right?
fast,
Yeah.
and there's not a lot of ways to get out of it. If we can put that slide back up again, the next one area. That sit in different portions of the state, and you can think of them almost as underground lakes. Comes from in-state rivers, and for that one, think of the Salt River. And if
Salt River, like what? Like a salt water? Or?
no, the Salt River
just a name.
is actually the river that goes through Mesa to Tempe.
Tempe.
And Tempe Town Lake is actually in the riverbed for the Salt River.
Oh, I see.
There are times where the dams that are further upstream have to release water, and that water can come through the Tempe Town Lake and spill over the top, and it can carry on down. Eventually, it'll join up to the Gila River, and the Gila River will go on out to the Colorado River.
Wow.
But we have not had sufficient rainfall here or snow melt
Yeah.
in the last few years to be able to have that situation.
Right.
But it is not incomprehensible, and I've lived here for a long period of time, and I've seen it where the Salt River was running hard through Tempe.
Wow.
And so that's an area that, generally we don't have it, but it kind of goes
So
hand in
people
hand.
walk, I mean, they come and they will see like some of the lake, right?
Yes.
It's like them, like some is like natural lake, but like man-made lake.
It's
or
a
something.
man-made lake
lake.
in the river bottom,
In the
and
river-
they have rubberized dams on both ends
I see.
to hold that
okay.
water in.
Mm.
And then if we can put that slide up one more time.
Yeah.
The last one is reclaimed water.
Okay.
But that encompasses all the
Just
water
only
supply that the
5%.
state has.
Yeah.
And so, we being a desert state, we are in a constant battle with going into drought conditions.
Right.
Even in the best of times,
Okay.
68% of our water supply goes to crops.
Yes.
And
true.
so this past year, there was a restriction. They started
use.
making restrictions on the use of the Colorado River. So we're going to receive less water, and that means some of the farmers out there are not going to have water to keep their crops and fields irrigated.
Wow.
So there's only a finite amount, and constantly the Arizona Department of Water Resources, they go to those 5 active management areas.
Right.
The largest of the active management areas is the aquifer that's under our it's under the city of Phoenix and the metro area, basically. It's the largest, and it's probably the best cared for, because what happens is when that water's coming down from the dams up there off of the Salt River, because if you go back out to Lake Saguaro, and then you've got Canyon Lake, you've got Apache Lake, and then you've got Lake Roosevelt.
Yeah.
So all those 4 lakes, they serve as little reservoirs that feed into the Salt River system. And what SRP does is they release water from time to time over the dams, strictly to percolate down into the ground and to help replenish the aquifer that's under us. Most of the cities here in the valley, they have wells, so they're pulling their water out of the aquifer. But by SRP doing the things that they're doing, they keep replenishing that underground lake. And if we could put slide number 2 up, just to give you an idea of how big some of these dams are.
Wow.
This particular dam here is Roosevelt Dam, and that's up at Lake Roosevelt.
I saw that. Yeah.
They raised the height of that dam 107 feet about 20 years ago.
Oh boy. Yeah.
And that increased the capacity for storage in that lake tremendously. So you can see we're being very proactive here in the state to conserve our water resources, to make sure that we've got the sufficient amount of resources. I've seen other places where they didn't manage their resources properly.
Yes.
And you would end up in situations where you couldn't water your lawn every day. Or you couldn't even put in a lawn. You had to put in xeriscaping.
Oh,
we haven't gotten to that point. We still do irrigation on our golf courses. Of course, fortunately on the golf courses, most of that is reclaimed water.
Reclaimed water, yeah.
But those types of things, taking those steps and being smart about the use of water is very important. And as time goes on, people are going to have to pay more and more attention. Part of one of the reason why we have such an importance on the water, of course, is we have to have water for people. And the Arizona Department of Real Estate, when somebody is putting up a subdivision, like let's say you've got Meritage Homes or Pulte Homes, and they're doing a big subdivision, they have to get a public report done. And as part of the public report, they have to show what the water supply is to those homes.
Right.
So most folks have heard of the rule of you got to have a guaranteed 100-year water supply. So that comes back to if you're hooked into the city of Gilbert or the city of Mesa, and they give you a water supply, that's usually a pretty good indication you got a 100-year guarantee. But if you're further out, say you're in Pinell County down towards Eloy,
right,
and you're depending on well water or aquifer down there, and there's
no guarantee.
There may not be any guarantee. So the Arizona Department of Water Resources will have to provide information to the Arizona Department of Real Estate in order to give them an idea whether or not they've got a guaranteed water
So
supply.
that's for approved to build the residence area.
That's
right
correct.
there.
And there have been some subdivisions built, like up around Kingman,
Yeah.
where they did not have a guaranteed water supply. And here in the valley, if you think of Rio Verde, which is kind of northeast of Scottsdale,
Yeah.
just a few months ago, they were fighting with Scottsdale because Scottsdale was concerned about their water supply, and they were going to restrict them.
Yeah.
And the state kind of stepped in. So I think that they'll work out a system at some point. But those folks were hauling water. They were buying water from the city of Scottsdale, and they were hauling it to their homes in Rio Verde. So that's a very precarious situation to be in. Additionally, Arizona Department of Water Resources here, every year they have to do a study on the aquifers to see how healthy they are.
Right.
And in the last couple of years, the aquifer that's in Pinell County, they downgraded it. And by all estimates, they said that would restrict that area from having 90,000 homes built.
Oh, yes.
At one time, they thought that there was sufficient water for 300,000 homes, and they cut it back, by
down.
90,000.
Oh, wow.
So you can imagine what a big and major effect that could have on.
I see that a lot of like when you build it, then they have to kind of stop. Just maybe because of some of the reason like that,
Yes.
they couldn't continue. Yeah.
But they're in the state, there's a lot of stakeholders that own water rights. The farmers, of course, have some.
Yeah.
The Indian tribes, and some of the Indian tribes have sold their water rights or are selling their water rights as a method for procuring revenue. And they're supplying water to some of the subdivisions, like up in Kingman and things like that, where they did not have a guaranteed water supply.
Wow.
So I would say, if you're going to live in the state of Arizona long term, you should expect to hear constant news about water.
About water, yeah.
And so the importance of it will never be diminished. So bearing that in mind, if we can put slide 3 up, there's some concerns that we can all do, and you probably can't read that real well, but I'm going to tell you there's 3 things or 5 things on here that I want to talk about. Number 1, check your faucets. Believe it or not, a faucet that's just going drip, drip, drip will waste about 15 to 20 gallons of water a day.
Oh, boy.
In the course of a year, that adds up to 6,000 gallons. And if 6,000 gallons is hard to get your head around on how much water that is, think of it this way. You could fill up your hot tub 2 or 3 times.
Right. Yeah.
And that's just an awful lot of water to waste.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if you think about your toilet, a constantly running toilet can waste up to a gallon of water per minute. And over the course of a year, you're probably looking at 30,000 gallons of water. Now, what is 30,000 gallons of water? Think of your neighbor's big swimming pool. How would you like to have your toilet running all the time as if you were filling that pool once a year?
Yeah,
So
but nobody thinking that's going to be affect that much because just a little bit of water, just it's okay. They don't think that.
Exactly
I
right.
realize that's a lot. It's a large effect, and not only like costly, like all of a sudden, water bill went so high.
Absolutely, your water bill goes high, but more importantly is here we've got a limited resource that we're wasting.
Yeah, so they don't allow.
Yeah. Right. So we're not getting good use out of it. So if we're going to be good shepherds of the water that we do have, we have to make sure that our homes and our businesses are properly maintained so that we don't have even the minor leaks.
Right. That's true.
Another thing is, I know some people, I've seen them in my household, like to take 25-minute showers.
Oh my God, that's a lot.
Well, it's like a sauna. But realistically, everything that you can accomplish.
I mean, the tub is okay, but not like shower water constantly falling on you.
Yeah, but I mean, it's
some people,
that's a lot.
do that.
Some people do that.
25
that
minutes.
That's a
long time.
That's a long time. So 5 minutes for the shower.
Yeah.
And how much to fill your tub? About 5 inches. because when you get in, it'll displace it.
Yeah.
Another place is on your washing machine and your dishwasher. Make sure that when you're doing a load, try to be as efficient as you can. Try to put as much in there as you can
That
so
needed
that,
for the
so
water
that
level.
you can use it
Yeah.
very efficiently. And then last thing is when you set your automatic sprinklers for your lawn, set them in the morning. Don't set them for in the middle of the day.
Yes.
Because if we have the hottest temperatures are in the middle of the day. So
Yes.
if the sprinklers are running, that water is not going to get the full benefit, or the grass is not going to get the full benefit because the sun and the heat is just going to make it
Just
evaporate.
a wasting of water.
Exactly right. And make sure that your sprinkler systems, by the way, are checked, that you don't have broken heads. I mean,
Sometimes it's underground. Nobody knows.
sometimes it's underground, but other
Right.
times you'll drive down the street and you'll see a head
See,
broken
like,
off and the water's
all the
just
water pop
squirting
up.
out on onto
on
the
street.
sidewalk.
Yeah. We have to pay attention to those.
Couple of other things to pay attention to is the fact that Arizona has some of the hardest water in the country. We have a lot of calcium and magnesium in our water.
Right.
And the way that you can pick that up is if you look around your sink, around your faucets and everything, you see that white buildup.
Yeah.
That
Calcium buildup.
Those are the mineral buildups. Exactly right. That's on your shower doors.
Right.
So you do need a water softener. That water softener, what it does is it uses sodium chloride or potassium chloride, and it replaces some of the ions in the calcium and magnesium, so that they don't adhere to things. The one thing that for certain about our hard water is that over time, inside the pipes, they will build up. So you may start off with a half-inch water line, but given enough time, it may be cut down to a quarter-inch just because of the buildup of deposits inside.
Calcium thing. And then sometimes like there's no water coming out from faucets
That's
because
it.
of that.
And the other thing too is, if it makes it harder if you do have a leaky faucet, it makes it harder to repair it because
There's nowhere. Yeah.
everything is crumbly. Everything is
So nobody
is hard.
know exactly to repair. For
You
those.
basically got to go back to the wall and replace the
Everything's
cutoff
out
valve and
and
put
all
a new
that.
faucet in. And then lastly, your water heaters. Water heaters here in the Arizona desert typically last for about 10 years. But you can extend the life of them by doing a couple of things. And one of them is once a year, hooking a hose up to the bottom of it and opening it up and draining it. You'd be surprised at the amount of sediment and hard materials that'll come out of it.
What did you do again? How to do that every year?
Yeah, once a year. Once a year, just hook up a garden hose to the bottom outlet and then turn and then just let it drain out.
I didn't know that. Oh, boy. I didn't
Pardon
know
me.
that's we have to do that once a year.
Yep.
Oh,
And you can extend the life of your water heater for a long time
wow.
doing that kind of thing.
That's interesting. Okay, well, that's a good thing to know about what you just said. And then is something that
Pardon us.
I just gonna add something and then I can start.
And if you would like a copy of that 5 basic ways to conserve water, you can always just email me or call me, text me, and I'll be happy to send it to you. And I might add, most of the water companies out there will give you kits on how to conserve water. One of the easy ones to do for checking to see if you've got a toilet leak is you can use food coloring in your tank, or they have tabs that you can use so that you can tell. Because what will happen if you've got a leak, and you put coloring in your tank, you'll start to see the coloring appear in the bowl, and you shouldn't see it in the bowl except for when you flush it.
Wow, it's a good idea. So that's the way to test it.
Save yourself some money.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a great tip, Scott, for that. Because a lot of people, like when they rent the place where the landlord or the association cover for the water, they just don't care about this. They don't know. They don't care.
Right.
But like if whoever that own those building, they can always send a letter or send some information like that to
Exactly right.
and just remind them and ask for their cooperation, right? for maintain the water, because not only for the individual, but it's really for the whole state, because
It's for all of us.
we have to think carefully for whatever we use. Like we have to think, okay, it's not just for us, for one person, but it's for everybody here. Right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
We need to do our best to conserve it for everyone.
When you mentioned that water underground, is that like is that the certain area, a city that they cover those underground?
Well, there's 5 of them, and they're called active management areas. The Arizona Department of Water Resources is the manager for them.
Yeah.
But the largest one, like I said, is pretty much underneath the metropolitan area here in Phoenix.
So those area, there's nobody gonna be able to build anything on top of it. I mean,
No, they can.
Oh, they can.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And they drill wells. The Arizona Department of Water Resource, every time somebody wants to drill a well, they have to apply to them for a permit.
Oh,
So they keep track of who's drilling, so they know what how many gallons per minute the well can produce. They know the depth of it. They know what kind of draw it's going to have. All of those kinds of things, because those go into the calculations for how viable is that active management area. For example, some of them, like up towards Prescott, they have an AMA up there as well.
Oh, wow.
But they are running out of water. In other words, where they can't have more people come in, because they're pretty much at their maximum capacity for water usage.
Oh, wow. I think also in California, the same thing. They increase the water bill, and then they give a fine if like the person usage go went higher like that, because also like they afraid of no more water over there on that state.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
And then Arizona and California is kind of like next to each other.
Well, and they're both going back and forth, because they both have rights for the water off the Colorado River.
Yeah. Those are very good.
I apologize. I have to put a cough drop in.
I know. The more I talk, I'm so excited, and then I start get coughing before it's okay. So those are the waters really good that we know, we understand where it's come from and how much we have for usage. And it makes sense, like, because when I first came, I don't see I don't see the plant so much. It's just rock. Oh my gosh. So what's the next topic that you can cover?
Well, there was a question about
excuse me.
Section 8 housing. And Section 8 housing is really a federal program, but it is administered by the cities.
Yeah.
And it is a form of low-income housing subsidy. Basically, the program works for people who are low income, and they qualify under a voucher system. So if somebody has one or two children, they may not receive as much money as somebody that has 4 or 5 kids. Additionally, the city that you live in will have different standards. For example, in some of the outlying cities, their Section 8 is based off their market, and so they may not have the same housing costs that, say, City of Phoenix does, or Scottsdale, or some of the other more affluent areas. But each of the cities will run their own program, and there's several steps to it, one of which is the family has to come in and they have to apply. They have to meet certain requirements, and then once they've met all the requirements, then they will qualify for a voucher. Now, the next step for them is to go out and locate housing that will accept the voucher. Not everybody will accept it. Now, a lot of folks are not well versed on how it does work, but there are some pretty good standards in that. They want to make sure that whatever housing that people get into, that it's quality housing, that they're not moving into a slum. It's not substandard. Just because they're receiving a subsidy doesn't mean that they have to live in substandard housing. So once a project is approved, or once a home or apartment is approved, then they can go ahead and they're retained for the Section 8 housing list. Somebody that's new, they will have to have one of the housing people come out, and they'll do an inspection on the property, and they'll look at things like, are the outlets safe, is the stove working, is there proper ventilation? The other thing that's of a concern is only 2 people per bedroom.
Oh, okay.
So that if you had a 2-bedroom apartment and 6 people wanted to lease it, it would not be allowed under Section 8.
So is that an inspector will come out and check the house or see the description of the house before they approve it, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it have to be approved by the housing department.
The people have to be approved to get onto the program,
Yes.
and then the property has to be approved for those people.
For the
And once that occurs, then they will be on the voucher system, and the landlord will receive his payment direct deposit from the city.
So there's a question about the voucher things. Somebody they come to the landlord and they say, I have already got the voucher, and I be able to use that as a first month rent. I think like a deposit they don't cover by the voucher, right?
I believe they do.
They do too.
I believe they do. I haven't done one. I've gone through the classes on them, but I believe they do. The thing is that the system is not there to harm the landlord.
Right.
It's there to help.
Oh, they pretty good. They very protect the landlords.
They protect the landlord and the tenants.
Yeah, then the tenant too. Because I think like any issue, any problem, like neighbor complaint or something like that, that's part of the then the department also always get involved and
correct.
Like try to solve things out.
And
it's very good in Arizona. Yeah.
And they will also come out annually and inspect.
Yes.
Just to make sure that everything is still being done properly.
And the responsibility is still like when we lease. That's why a lot of people, when they invest the property and they want to lease to the Section 8, make sure everything like are good and in a good working order. But the on the contract, the responsibility to like keep it, maintain, not like come and not care and then like tear off and everything like that, and then will cost more to the landlord. So the landlord usually they will pick somebody that know to how to take care of their property, just like that, to be able to lease it out to those. So that's why it's not it's easy that you don't worry that every month you don't get the money from the tenant, like automatically get paid.
That's
but
correct.
We have to pick the right tenant as well.
That's correct. It doesn't relieve you of your obligation to treat it like a business and to make sure that you've got the right tenant.
Right.
The one thing that I would highly recommend to any landlord that is considering going with Section 8 housing is if he has a property, say in the City of Phoenix Housing Authority will have some types of classes and education so that you can learn all the ins and outs and the rules, because they want everyone to succeed. They want everybody that they give a voucher to find a good home, and they want the landlords to be successful in providing good housing.
Yeah.
So it behooves them to learn the right way to do it first.
Right, that's true. Yeah, because like I know sometimes would go out looking for the landlord that approve with the Section 8, they don't list it up there. Like you go to the house and the person didn't want to deal with it because they usually thinking like the whoever that come from Section 8 is like they don't know how to take care of their stuff. They kind of like
Yep.
Just not the person that was like working and want to stay and want to do all that. So that's
I would agree with that. And for the most part, where I've seen people that landlords that did not want to do Section 8 housing, it was just because they didn't know what the program entailed.
Yeah.
In many cases, if they
It's very good. It's a good
Once they
program.
got involved in it,
Yes.
they were very happy with it.
Yeah,
But it's
right.
it's the old, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, but I can see that even like when we do business and want to cover by the insurance, then you know for sure you will get paid.
Exactly.
No matter what. You perform the service, then you will get paid,
Yes.
right? But on the other hand, for the other one, even though like they do a monthly installment, it's not guaranteed. Like they're gonna continue that to the end. So the housing is always the best. Like some state they call the housing or Section A or something, but they have a different requirement. But once you in the program already, the property approved already, the tenants stay there already. Pretty much we good. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Get everything. Not to worry so much that don't know next month if that tenant gonna pay or not pay, and have to go through rebates, eviction, and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, because you know that you're going to get paid by the city.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is that that tenant knows that if they step out of line or they break the rules,
they will lose the benefit.
They will lose that benefit. Is exactly right.
And also like because to them instead of pay like the whole full amount, sometimes they don't pay anything. Sometimes they pay a little bit.
That's right.
It's still really helpful to their situation. And of course they will try to make it to like to do something agreeable so that the landlord will continue lease the property to them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And of course the other thing too is with the Section 8 housing, when rents rise, every year the Section 8 housing voucher goes up slightly.
Yeah.
And because it stays constant with where the market rates are.
So is that like the landlord will have to sign a new contract or with them? That's
may have to sign a new
contract.
a new lease.
Renewal lease.
A lease renewal. Yeah.
Lease renewal for that. And that's just automatically. So they will go for that price and then get the approval from the state. Okay, so that's the price that we're gonna have to increase.
And usually you can find out ahead of time. Like say you're in the city of Tempe and you want to find out what's the maximum that they will allow on a 2-bedroom home or a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
So you can go and you can get that. They'll publish that amount.
Wow.
And so you'll know ahead of time how much that is.
Wow. Yeah. I want to go back to the water things because I was so coughing and I didn't ask, but I know like a lot of homeowner or even like landlord, they are concerning on the water, like if they cover the water and all that. But if we are in the house, and I know that how we there also the main because there's a situation where the if it is up and show like it's leaked, then everybody can see it, right? But it's go underneath and it's just like time and time and time, nobody know. And then or the house was like there, and then now they come up and then they pay the money and they say why it's jumped so high. Then then if the situation where they pay, then they was thinking, did you rent the house to us with the problem like that, so then the way to do is like we have to keep like coming up, like inspect, right? And find out if the meter, like we know where the main water meter, and we can look and see the clock is running, if moving when nobody use. If somebody use, then it's moving, but nobody use and it's still moving, then that's somewhere, right?
Then that's something to investigate. So it's a little bit of detective work sometimes.
Yeah.
You look at your bill,
right.
You look at past bills, and if there's a significant water increase, well, that tells you, all right, something's going on here.
Yeah, for the first water bill and second water bill, why it's like that?
So you need to figure out why you've got a difference. I'll give you an example. If you talk about somebody that has a swimming pool,
yes,
it's not unusual to lose 600 gallons of water per week to evaporation.
Evaporation. Yeah.
And so that's going to show as a constant drain on your water usage as well.
Oh, Oh, okay.
Because
Yeah.
if your pool's got the automatic refiller on it, it'll try to keep that pool water level at the right place.
Oh, okay. So it's evaporate, then the more water will come in so that they can have the level that desired for
Exactly right.
Wow. So then, so we, of course, somehow say, we don't like to have a pool. Then we gotta know that those are the things that we have to check. And I see that Arizona, if it's gonna be it's big and large and have a lot of land, but it's less water compared to other states.
Compared to other states, exactly right. In fact, there's portions of Arizona that they're considered non-irrigatable. In other words, where if you were in some of these parts of the area, you would only have just the natural water runoff. You would not have other water resources. You'd have to buy water and haul it to it.
Wow, that's really something that we don't want to kind of use them all. We have to kind of reserve, but together we can do that. If just one person care, then it's going to help out for a lot.
Help a lot of people. Yep, and I can tell you the water companies are paying a lot more attention to it now than ever before.
Yeah, I see that they notify, like they call and then they say, "Why? How come like your water is so increased? It's dramatically. Is something going on? Is that a leak or something?" And then like we test. You can test this by yourself. But I know that if you can't figure it out, you can ask the water company. They will help out and they will send the inspector. And those plumber, they kind of expertise in stuff and look at and figure it out why they think and maybe help out with the situation. And they can always do that, right?
Exactly right.
Yeah. So those are the service that you can always request. Same as the gas, the same thing. If a leak, if something like not right, they can come in and they can kind of repair with a low cost.
Repair and make sure that everything is safe on
and
gas
all that.
in particular.
I can see like in Mesa, great gas department was one time we have like a leak, but that right on the weekend and that day, but we got somebody coming right away and did the repair. And
when it comes to gas,
even with the business, nobody could be able to come out. If we want to, but
when it comes to gas, they don't wait at all.
Yeah.
Because those fumes can build up and then cause an explosion.
Right. Just like we mentioned before, like if you hear the gas, you never flame the fire or smoking and all that. So if you see that, you have to open all the window and then stay outside and then until everything's and then find out and call people right away.
Exactly right.
For that. So we have to be careful all that stuff, and especially right now with the winter, a lot of people use fireplace and a lot of party going on, but those are little things that we have to pay attention. Just a second to pay attention, but it will help the whole situation. For that.
I'm glad you mentioned fireplaces because I just want to remind everybody, we spoke about it last time about the air quality and that there are non-burn days. In fact, the other day when I was going home, over one of the big freeway signs overhead over all the different lanes, it said today is a non-burn day.
Oh, really? I saw that.
If you looked at the haze, back over towards the city, it was kind of brownish.
Wind,
And then the very next day we had wind that came through and it cleaned it out, so you could have a fire pit outside.
Right. Wow, that's really good. So those geographists, whoever like design that's very good, huh? But they all have to understand about the message.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
If we don't understand the message, we just that day the same thing meaningless to them and they just keep doing it.
Yep.
Go to camping and just fire forever. Okay, so now I think like we're gonna come up with something fun for we still have something to cover.
Well, we're down to the end of the year here, and in the Phoenix metro area, there's always a number of different holiday events that are going on.
Oh yeah.
And probably the first one, I've got a representation of it, slide 4, and that's Zoo Lights.
Ooh.
And once again, SRPs involved in it.
Oh, wow.
So if you're an SRP customer and you want to go see
right.
the zoo lights,
Yay.
you can go for half price.
Ah.
BOGO, which means buy one, get one.
Oh, really?
So the tickets are normally $30 a piece. You can get 2 tickets for $30.
Oh.
And if I can see the next slide there, this next
where the
slide.
city though? I mean, like where they usually have zoo
Zoo lights? Zoo lights are right there at the Phoenix Zoo, which is off Galvin Parkway, in between Tempe and Phoenix.
Okay, so the next one, is that the picture of the lake? And
Yep, that's the lake at the zoo, and that's just a night that
beautiful.
you walk away all around the entire zoo, and they've got lights everywhere. Some of them depict animals. And,
oh, wow!
So I mean, it's just a great place to go, and
amazing. Just a very cool air and
exactly right. And it's a nice path and everything around there.
They allow pet? Or
no, not so much.
No.
And you don't see that many animals because most of the animals are back in their cages. You know, and it's in the dark. Another one that's just real close there to the Phoenix Zoo is number 6, and that's Botanical Gardens. They line all of their walkways with luminarias, and so you're walking through the desert, and there's all kinds of cactuses and desert plants and everything. But it's also kind of a nice mountain setting. It's a good place to go for a walk in the early evening, and it's an enjoyable setting.
Wow.
Another one is
that where city? What city is that?
That's Phoenix?
Oh, Phoenix Zoo with the office.
That's actually, if you go up Galvin Parkway.
Galvin.
It's just if you turn right, going north on Galvin Parkway, you'll go into the zoo. If you turn left, you'll go into the Botanical Gardens.
Oh, okay. Wow, it's great.
And then number 7, this is the Mesa Mormon Temple. It's down near Main Street and Mesa Drive.
Oh, beautiful!
And
wow.
For years, they were known for the light show that they put on in their gardens outside the temple. And for the past 5 years, they've been doing renovations out there, and this will be the first year where they have the lights out there again.
Oh, wow,
so
really?
I suspect that this will be a pretty spectacular year.
Is there like a time, from now to the end of the year, or what's the time, like certain?
Now till the end of the year. And if you have any questions on any of these things, just go to their websites. They've got full information. They tell you how much their tickets. A lot of
Mesa
stuff
Tempe Christmas lights.
Yep, a lot of them are free events.
Oh, okay.
And so,
so there's a schedule, and there's a time, there's a date that you can get in, how much, or free, something like that.
Exactly right. And then my 8th slide here is on the Mesa Performing Arts Center. If you have not been to the Mesa Performing Arts Center, you're missing something, because they not only have artwork there, but they have orchestras that come in, bands that come in. They do plays, off-Broadway shows. So there's a whole variety of different types of entertainment that you can get. And now during the Christmas season, of course, it's a great time to go there. Parking's good. It's downtown in Mesa, basically at Main and Center.
Yeah.
So if you go down to see the temple, maybe you go over to the Mesa Arts Center as well. The next one I have is number 9, and this is in the Southeast Valley. This is out towards Queen Creek.
Oh, wow.
Schneff Farms. It's a family farm, and for years they have had a petting zoo. They've got orchards there, but every season they have some type of special event. And at Christmas time, of course, that's one of them as well. They have a little train so kids can ride a train.
Really?
And,
that's wonderful.
And of course, they've got a lot of lights, same way that the zoo lights are set up.
That's
so it's really, really good.
Oh, that's cool. Wow.
And I didn't put this one on here, but I'm going to give one quick shout out to the city of Mesa.
Okay.
And our city of Gilbert.
Gilbert.
At Water Ranch, which is where they do a lot of reclamation with their dirty water.
Like water dancing, like dirty water, like you mean like the waters?
Where they clean it.
Oh, where they clean. Oh,
yep.
okay.
Yep. Where they clean their water. But they have 7 different ponds set up, and they have for water recycling. And there's a lot of wildlife that comes down there. Birds. I was down there 2 weeks ago and I saw big pelicans, egrets, very, very showy, beautiful birds.
Wow.
But during this Christmas season as well, they're also doing their version of zoo lights out there as well. So, and that's at...
maybe they do like water dancing or something.
well,
just like Las Vegas.
You've got all kinds of stuff going on, but it's at Guadalupe and Greenfield is where you can find that.
Oh, Guadalupe and Greenfield. Yeah. Okay.
And then I just had a couple of others just to share with you. Scottsdale has Enchant Scottsdale, and you can go to the Scottsdale website and see what types of lighting they have in their downtown district. If you want to go down and see some of the holiday features down there.
Wow.
Pratt Brothers Christmas, which is kind of like a Wild Wild West show, but that's in Chandler.
Like horses or things like that. Yeah.
Western, yeah, very much Western. And then they've got it, once again, they've also got a train ride.
Oh,
they've got gunfight shows and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And then up in Scottsdale at the Princess, they've got Christmas at the Princess. And once again, that's another one where they have a great light display.
Wow. That'd be wonderful.
And then Mary Main Street, and that one is in Mesa once again. But if you're in doubt whether your city has anything or not, I suggest you go to your city's website and you look and see what they have listed for their holiday activities. Because the cities are very active and they want their citizens to come out and enjoy being in their cities, and they want to bring other visitors to their cities. So
that's true.
They're out there showing.
So they
off.
always have some kind of events going on for the special occasion, so that can bring out the best of the city.
That's right.
And like the coming year, like get more tourists and just come to that city.
Or more residents.
Yeah, or resident. Yeah, come stay.
But they try to bring business to their city, and that's one of the ways they do it. So.
Right. There's more vendor, more residents, more people. Really good. And now, if actually like before, I didn't know where to get how to get started, to get like places to go and find, and we just listen to the advertising only. But like sometimes they did it, sometimes they don't. Right. So, but like this is the way like you can kind of have a choice and pick. The choice if you don't want to look at this place, then you can always have another place available, and depend on like it is always say the length, the time, the cost, the admission fee, all that. Of course, probably people looking for somewhere there's not too much admission, so that whole family can enjoy.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And
like they go by car only, or they go by each individual admission.
Correct.
And things like that. Yeah.
So there's, if you don't want to, there's plenty of free events out there, and if you want to spend money on a fancy show, there's that opportunity as well. But there's everything in between.
Yep. So that's a excellent, wonderful information that Scott provided. Wow. I see the picture. I really want to come out right away. Like about 10 places, like more than that. It's like, all the places there. So from we have different area, but mainly it's light, right? Mainly light.
This time of the year, it's mostly light.
It's light, yeah. And even with a small kid, we still like to look different color of the light, and all the miracle, or everything dreaming and everything there is from the light. So it really make you happy though.
It does.
Like just like a firework, right? Up on the sky. Like sometimes they do that. Did they do that here? The celebration, like they put fireworks. Yeah.
Usually on January 1st.
Oh, January 1st. Yeah.
New Year's is when they usually
do that. Not Christmas.
Yep.
Yeah.
But for example, down there in Tempe, they do the Fiesta Bowl block party in downtown Tempe.
What's that?
The block party is basically they close off Tempe, and You
They
know,
have more people selling stuff in there.
vendors in the beer gardens
like
and
a
restaurants.
small walking into the
Yep, they
hall.
close the downtown, so there's no cars and it's all pedestrians, and they have bands and things like that.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
And at midnight, they shoot off fireworks.
And
off
I
Tempe
also
View.
see like a cartridge with the host. That really miracle, just like a princess and all that things in there. This is a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful event for everybody to enjoy in Arizona. So whoever have family and come and enjoy with the family here, the best. You know, to come and look for all those like SRP is the one that mainly collaborate with those events, right?
SRP does a lot of the big events, and of course when it comes to zoo lights, like I said, if you go to their website and you'll see that you can get 2 tickets.
Yeah, because
buy one get one.
Buy one get one 2 tickets, because they say especially for the SRP customer, but I think mainly here majority everybody have SRP. Right?
On this
they
side
have
of town,
company
side of town, most people
really?
have SRP.
So they have another company too?
On the west side of town, APS.
Ah, I see. But SRP is a larger. I see mostly
on this side.
Oh, I want to ask if you know, like I see somebody usually they have a little box and then they do the like the electrical repair. They say they can bring to everywhere like that. What is it? Like how is that cheaper than the person that pay? I see some of the tenant, they have a little box and then it's a prepaid program from the SRP.
It's usually for somebody that has had problems making payments in the past.
Oh, I see.
And so they're prepaying and they have a certain amount of electricity that they've prepaid for. And then when that meter runs down, they're out of electricity until they prepay for some more.
Because I think that's also another idea though. If the landlord wanna like cover the electrical, let's say, and they only cover for that much. So if they give the box and they repay for that amount, then that's all they're gonna pay, right? That's all they can use. And if the tenant use more, then the tenant would be responsible for.
That's correct.
That's easy to maintain too. I just see something like that. Just new to me.
It's usually where somebody's had problems making their payments. So.
Yeah, so then they go by that route.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we try to kind of keep our voice low down, not shout out too much, so we can save our throat. So just like so we don't cough. And all the information is really helpful for today. That about the funding, about the water, that what we need to do, the citizen responsibility, and the benefit of the tenant and the landlord in Section 8. And then all the place that we can go out and have fun with the family, to watch the light, to take a walk and chit chat and all that. It's fun maybe after the party, or went there and then back and have a party. You know,
there you go.
That's be wonderful. So I think we're gonna stop here, and we will wish all of the audience out there a wonderful Christmas, a happy New Year. And then we'll see you guys next time. And I give the word to you. What you say? You want to wish the family
happy holidays to everybody, and safe travels if you're going out of the city or out of state. And if you have family coming in, show them around town. Take them out to some of those events.
Yeah.
And if you have questions on about the water or any of those events,
yes,
we can put up slide number 10. It's got my information. Feel free to call me or email me, and I'll get you the information as quick as I can.
Yeah. Scott Bartlowe. Thank you for watching our show, and we'll see you next time.
See you in 2024.
Yeah.
LinhVi xin cảm ơn sự theo dõi của tất cả quý vị trong những giây phút vừa qua. Chương trình VAATV xin kính chào, tạm biệt và xin hẹn gặp lại quý vị vào lần phát hình kỳ tới. Mọi chi tiết về thông tin thương mại và bảo trợ, xin mời quý vị hãy liên lạc về địa chỉ email vaatelevision@gmail.com và số điện thoại là 480 289 9816 480 289 9816. 16, website vaatv.com và vaaznews.com. Xin kính chào, tạm biệt.